Now, last night, the Browns got the win, but it ended in ugly fashion. Up 21-7 with 14 seconds left. Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph was driven to the ground by Myles Garrett after a pass, sparking a brawl in which Garrett ripped Rudolph's helmet off and hit him over the head with it. After the game, Baker Mayfield said what Garrett did was, quote, inexcusable. Marquise Pouncey, who was ejected for throwing punches and kicking Garrett, said that Garrett could have killed Rudolph. We are joined now by Fox Sports NFL analyst Eric Dickerson. What was your reaction to last night's situation?
First of all, it was wrong. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, and our era is a little bit different, you know. But that's wrong. And you know, the thing is, you know, I know Myles Garrett. I met his family. He's a good young man. He really is. He's a good guy. He plays at Texas A&M with my cousin Ricky Seals-Jones. They happen to be on the Browns together. But that's you can't do that. My dad had a saying. He said, son, it takes a second to get in trouble and a lifetime to get out. And this will follow him forever. I mean, I think about a couple of players. Albert Haynesworth, who played for the Tennessee Titans. You know, he had an incident like this. I think he stomped the guy, jerked his helmet off, and stomped him in the face. I think he had to get like 10 or 15 stitches. And so he got a 5-game suspension. Marty McSorley, you remember with the hockey stick? Hit the guy in the face with the hockey stick. Criminal charges were brought on that. You know, you can't do that. But you know, Shannon, you know this, and I've talked to people about it. People called me last night about it. If you've never played football, and I'm saying again, this is wrong, but you get so amped up. You do. You're so amped up. This is a rivalry game. They don't like each other. And when something goes down, you're not thinking. You could tell he wasn't thinking in his right mind. I got to give David DeCastro credit. I mean, look at him. Because only person that Myles Garrett would have listened to at that time was one of his teammates. Probably would have tackled him. And that is what David DeCastro, he tackled him and just laid on him. Because, you know, hey, man, settle down. You know, and all of a sudden, you come back like, yeah. What I do? I messed up. So I just feel like you can't do that. And it's really no excuse. I mean, you look at it, you know, it's on film. So you can't say I didn't do it.
He's going to get a historic punishment. And the thing is, because normally when sports, they're relegated to sports shows. You know, whatever it is. This is on CNN. This is going to be on something, this is going to be talked about that's not sports related. And it gives the NFL a bad look. And the NFL is all about, Skip, you know that word I think came about in 16, 17, optics. It's all about optics. And the optics of this, I mean, look at it. In slow motion, look at there. The guy's turning, he got his helmet in his hand, and he clubbed him across the head with it. So, for me, I don't see a scenario in which Myles Garrett plays another down in 2019. And would I be surprised if the punishment rolled over some into 2020? No, I would not. Because the punishment is meant not only to punish the offender, it is also meant to deter others that might subsequently think of doing something like this. That's what punishment is meant to do. And so, Myles Garrett, you put yourself in a situation that Derek Brooks or whomever, James Thrash, excuse me, that's determining your fate. You left them no choice. The NFL will send the harshest, the most severe punishment to make sure nothing like this ever happens again. So he's going to be the example. Like I said, you mentioned, and I mentioned it earlier, we got the Albert Haynesworth stomp. But Skip, he didn't take the helmet and swing it.
And Andre Garrod didn't have his helmet on.
And that guy didn't have his helmet on because he snatched it off and hit him in his head with it. And you remember when Bubba Baker poked Ron Heller in his eye. He sued him and won. Skip, I think I was looking at it here. His attorney said tonight could have had a catastrophic ending. This matter will be reviewed thoroughly. So that tells me this is not about just the NFL and what they're going to do. They're looking at some legal you know, what can they possibly do? Oh, he got a lot of fish to fry. And he's going to have a lot of time to think about it, too.
You're in the Hall of Fame. You're in the Hall of Fame. I've covered your game longer than you guys played it. And I have never been more shocked and shaken by something I saw on a football field until that happened. And I'm still having a hard time processing it. The more I watch it, Myles Garrett was so fortunate that he caught Mason Rudolph with the bottom side of the helmet, which does have a little bit of padding,
Right,
just a little bit.
Right.
It's not a lot, but it's a little to protect you from getting the helmet pushed into your neck area, right? And yet, he strikes such a blow. He still caught him pretty flush with the bottom of the helmet that I can't believe that Mason Rudolph wasn't hurt at all because he seemed to be okay.
Right.
He must have a hard head, man. Right?
He's a Steeler.
Because he got cold cocked to me, man. He got smashed. And yet, if he'd caught him with the solid part, the crown of the helmet, I'm pretty sure it splits him open. We got concussion.
He might be gone. He might be gone for years.
If not gone.
He might be going to jail.
Yeah. So, to me, an unprecedented act requires unprecedented punishment. Because this league is all about image and optics, and it has to send a message to everybody that something that we've never seen before is going to be stopped with punishment we've never seen.
Right.
I want to see 6 games, and I want to see one more game to start next year just to remind everyone, hey, this will never, ever happen again in this league. It's what David Stern did in the NBA to Ron Artest after the malice at the Palace.
Steven Jackson, Jermaine O'Neal.
They all got unprecedented suspensions. And no one's ever forgotten that. And you know what? It worked. It cleaned it up, man. We've never seen that before. But the point there was you cannot cross that literal line and go up in the stands and throw punches at fans. You just can't.
Right. Yep.
Okay?
Skip, did Kermit Washington ever play again after the Rudy T incident?
I was there that night and witnessed it and got sent by the LA Times to the hospital because it was death watch on Rudy T. I think Kermit continued.
I might have played the season, but I don't think he had a much of a career after that.
Okay, so now we're back to the incident itself. And I want to get your takes on this because the other unprecedented act was, again, it's a last play screen pass, and they don't block Myles Garrett. He comes unabated to the quarterback. So he doesn't crush him into a turf and get a flag, but he just sort of bullies him. He sort of rubs it in. He's pushed him down, and he's extended.
Because Rudolph doesn't want to go to the ground, but he's going to pull him. He's pulling him down anyway.
But then Mason Rudolph does something I've never seen. A quarterback tried to dislodge the helmet of the defensive end. Where did that come from? So does he deserve any blame for escalating the incident?
No, I don't think they're not going to do anything to Mason Rudolph. He's not going to get any punishment.
Nah.
Now, Pouncey is going to get some games. Myles Garrett definitely going to get some game. Ogunjobi is going to get a game at least.
Ogunjobi.
Ogunjobi.
Yep.
He's going to get a game at least, Skip.
Okay. Now, back to Marquise Pouncey. This is just me. From my heart, I don't want to see him get any punishment because his reaction, as he said, I blacked out, but he went into to protection mode, he called it. If either of you had seen a teammate get treated that way with his own helmet, especially your quarterback, I know what you do and I know what you do. You're going to fight back. And in your day, maybe you could have gotten away with it, and I know he threw a punch and I know he tried to kick.
Man, if somebody would have done that to E.D., Hara, and Jackie Slater.
It'd have been. But we did have an incident like that. We had. Matter of fact, I tried to find it. It's funny how NFL they pull all of it offline. You can't find it anymore. We had a brawl where in New York, the Jets, where John Robinson said, "Look, we're not going to have Gaston." Remember Gaston? He did his dance.
Yeah.
What year is this?
1983. Our rookie season.
All right.
He's not doing that stupid dance.
Yep.
So sure enough, he gets a sack, and Jackie pushes him. And Jackie Hall of Famer Jackie Slater pushes him, and a fight breaks out. And I mean, both benches emptied. I mean, I'm talking about fighting. The helmets were off; they were swinging. I won't forget. God, what's the big defensive lineman? I can't think. He chased me because I had a defensive back then. I was punching his defensive back, and he chased me, and I'm kicking him, running from him. So I mean, this has happened before. It's just like, you know, maybe not to. It wasn't cameras everywhere when we played. They just weren't everywhere.
Right.
You know, you could do things. I mean, I won't forget when we played the St. Louis Cardinals at one time, and they played the Chicago Bears, and they had a player that got into a fight, and he got up on their sideline, and they were over there stomping the guy. I mean, you could see him stomping because we saw the film. I mean, so if you know, you can't do this kind of stuff. I mean, and the thing is that you got to think they play again in 2 weeks. They play in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So how is that going to play out? I mean, those feelings are still there. But I agree with both of you. I mean, you can't do that. Most definitely, guys going to protect your players. But I still think if it wasn't for David DeCastro, look at it close, what he did.